Nilikuwa nataka kuverify alafu sasa tupange alafu tujue kama tutafika kesho Central.
Sawa mzee.
Unapeleka Central jina alipelekwa Kamkunji.
Central.
Sawa kesho hata kama sio kama minda ndafika hivyo Central kesho. Sawa mzee. Hizo mambo tutafiti
Mike ndani. How is it mzee? Mimi I've never experienced it.
Nishaikoa inda so mambo tutakuwa fiti. Kutakuwa na challenges hapa na pale lakini mambo tutakuwa fiti still tu. Nakwambia utakuwa na challenges hapa na pale lakini mambo itakuwa fiti. Nishaikoa inda so mambo itakuwa poa na inda is one of the worst police stations in Nairobi so
like nitakuwa safe hapo ndani.
Nini?
Will I be safe?
Light?
Safe.
Yeah. Rumande is safe.
The header reads, clarification of the death of Albert Ojwang. Onto the body. The National Police Service has noted reports circulating on social media regarding the death of a suspect allegedly in custody at Central Police Station, Nairobi. NPS confirms that Albert Ojwang was lawfully arrested by DCI detectives for false publication and placed in custody. While in custody, the suspect sustained head injuries after hitting his head against the cell wall. What bullshit. But anyway, police officers on duty promptly noticed the injuries and rushed him to Mbagathi Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. In line with statutory requirements, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, has launched an investigation into the incident. NPS reaffirms its commitment to yada yada yada.
A man who did not deserve to meet his death the way he did, Albert Ojwang, a father, a son, a friend, an incredible human being. And I think for me the saddest part was seeing his father break down and also asking myself, how was the journey like for this man, following his son all the way from Homa Bay to Central Police Station, only to be told, you know what, your son injured himself and died.
Habari si nzuri, mtoto wako alijigonga kwenye ukuta na yeye amecommit suicide. Hii kama ni kujitia kitanzi ndani ya room. Akajaribu kunielezea kwamba huyu mtoto alikuwa amewekwa kwenye room ya peke yake. Nikajiuliza swali, kwani huyu mtoto anawekwa kwa room ya peke yake? Kwani yeye anaangusha nyumba kwa mabomu? Amefanya nini? Mtoto awekwe kwa room peke yake na kuna wenzake wameshikwa pale. Kwa nini asiwekwe na wenzake? Kwa nini awe peke yake?
Kumbuka jana kijana mdogo anaitwa Albert Ojwang. Yeye ameandika kitu kwa mtandao na ni mwalimu tu. Ameenda amechukuliwa na mapolisi, wamemshika kule police station, wamempiga, wamemuua, alafu sasa hivi wanasema kwamba ati huyo kijana alijigonga kichwa ndani ya police station. Mimi ningependa kuuliza William Ruto, wewe leo chukua hiyo kichwa yako ujigonge, uone kama unaweza jiua kwa kujigonga kichwa. Hii maneno ni lazima ichunguzwe.
The arrest and execution of one Albert Ojwang. Wale wajaluo 20,000 wenye mlitoka kujaza Raila Odinga Stadium huko Homa Bay ndio mfurahishe William Ruto. Sasa jitokezeni kwa wingi na mwende kwa street muombe ndugu yenu Albert Ojwang haki kwa kuuliwa na Deputy Inspector General of Police Mr. Eliud Langat. Yeye ndiye alitumana huyo kijana ashikwe, aletwe Nairobi, awekwe kwa cell, auliwe na wakiuliza mseme alijiua. Hivyo ndio imekuwa.
Who is this boss that people are talking about?
And this killing has been done by police. I do believe there is a special killer squad within the police force that is doing all of these things. There is no way you're going to tell me that someone is arrested in Homa Bay, driven over 300 kilometers to Nairobi, booked in a police station, then at 2 a.m. in the morning is dead. It can only mean that the intention from the beginning was that this young man had to be killed.
And one of the questions you should be asking before I go to 1,000 days is, there are very many police stations, very many courts in this country. Why did Ojwang had to cover 357 kilometers from Homa Bay to Nairobi? I've just checked on Google Map. Yeah. It is 357 kilometers from Homa Bay to Nairobi. Were there no other police stations? Were there no courts along the way? So I think we need somebody to explain to us why that happened. And number 3, you cannot decide somebody is innocent or guilty. You take him to court or her to court. Let the judge, let the court decide. But most important, and my colleague here alluded to that, is we cannot land the country under the wrong shadow of fear. Because I think there has been some effort in the last 2-3 years to make sure that everybody in this country is under fear. So that when we are sitting here, when we are talking here, we are fearing who is listening to us. We are fearing what is going to happen to us after we leave. That's not how an economy lands, because once people are under fear, they do not make certain decisions, they do not invest, they do not consume. So it is 1,000 days since President Ruto got to power, but I think we need to rethink of how we are going to run this country, not under fear, but under freedom.
A, because this could have been any of us. Last year, a bunch of us were protesting, a bunch of us were being very politically active and asking for our rights. Just to set the stage, over 70% of Kenyans are under the age of 35. This is the majority. The people they're busy killing, this is the majority in this country. And actions such as what is happening to Ojwang are not very helpful. A lot of us were on the streets, a lot of us were tweeting, a lot of us were doing, really exactly what he did. And we are live today and I'm sitting in this studio. That could have been me, that could have been any of my friends. This is not allowed. We live in a country that has laws. We live in a country where justice must prevail. And I don't know how many times us Kenyans will have to cry about issues to do with police brutality. And let me remind you that since last year, all the Kenyans who died, all the young people who died, not one person has been held responsible to this day. And this is the result of what happens. When you leave lawlessness to prevail, this is exactly what happens.
Mr. Kenyatta used it as a pin. He would deal with people on an individual basis. Moi brought mass police station, mass killing, mass, even the Air Force one time bombed some people here in Molo. I remember as a young kid, I could see it in the newspapers. They were being called Pokot rustlers. And when a government starts using aeroplanes against its own citizens, this is a huge problem. Today, we are going back. The problem in this country is between the Reds and the Blacks. And the thing that has happened is that the government today is turning back the clock because, as I said on this program, the president is an autocrat. And the message that he has sent to the police system and the security system is that at all costs, deal with anyone who opposes this administration. And this is not something theoretical for me. An international system, broadcast station, the British Broadcasting System released a program the other day in which we could see our police officers crouching down and shooting citizens who are protesting. And we have had abductions. We have warned the president. He himself has admitted it's not something that I'm telling, something new I'm telling the public. He went to the prayer breakfast and said, I apologize for the abductions. And therefore, he knew something about it. Mr. Justin Muturi, who was on television, said that he was in the presence of the president when he was picking the phone and saying, release that fellow. Where is this country going to? We have a struggle in this country to fight for some very basic, decent freedoms. I remember the Honorable Raila Odinga is the one who used to spend all his years going 300 kilometers to Shimulatewa and back. He is today in the government and he's not saying anything about these police killings. You cannot tell the government the police killings in private to stop them. You have to tell them in public so that they know that if they continue, that the broad-based government is going to fall. Real pressure has to be applied to this administration, real political pressure, because we do not want to turn the clock back to the days in which we and many of the men and women who are sitting here stood up against. I am appalled by Mr. Ojwang's death. I think that in any decent government in the world, the government would resign and there would be a general election in this country. But because we're used to low standards, low systems, Mr. Ojwang's case is just going to be a little postscript in the newspaper come a week. And that's a shame to our country, I put it to you.